And welcome to another video from me, Crystal DBG. It is NFL Fantasy Week, and we are talking about Week 4 results and Week 5 predictions. And this was a week where we were praying to the fantasy gods. Let's see how I did. Tune in. Wish me luck. The praying worked to the fantasy gods. So 113 to 105, and both of us made some massive mistakes. Me more so, but I was more more lucky to get the result. So let's have a look. So Geno Smith got injured. He was my last player, and I was like 100 and I was like 93 points to 105 for the Monday night game. Gino went down injured, and I was expecting to lose. So luckily he came back, scored a couple of extra points, really helped me to get through that. Russell Wilson having a great game, at 21 points. Derrick Henry coming back beautifully and just playing great. Mixon Bengals it's just Burrow, isn't it? He is playing injured, and he is using that as an excuse, and it's a good excuse. But the result should be, I'm playing injured, let's sit out. That is the problem at the moment. There is no reason for him to play. Green Bay, you are mis-selling to fantasy players how injured or not injured your players are. Aaron Jones, 6 snaps, I think it was. It was definitely less than 10, but he was close to recovery last week, and then on limited this week, but no one knew he was limited. So Green Bay, just to give us a little bit more information would be really useful. Expecting bigger things than 2 points from him. Mostert, obviously a fantastic game, but he is quickly losing his running back one spot from. So we'll see how that's going to go forward. DJ Moore, brilliant. Let's get back. Yes, it was against Denver, but he's had some good results at the moment. He is the wide receiver 1 and coming into play. I really like that. Matching better than Justin Jefferson. Who would have expected that, especially against Panthers? Pittman, awful game. I think it's just a bad week for him. If you got him in your lineup, expect a bounce up. He should normally get at least 12 to 15 points every week. Keenan Allen, equally, considering what he has been achieving lately, 12 points is a little bit lackluster for him. So see how it goes going forward. I think this was my first mistake. I got rid of Denver's tight end. I can't remember his name, but I've rebought him. I got rid of him thinking that Palmer could be more of an upside, because I thought I needed more upside in my team, and he got injured very quickly, so it was unquestionable to play within the game. Was expecting like at least 2 touchdowns, or a touchdown and a couple of points, getting to that magical 10, but unfortunately it didn't happen. Cole Pitts doing no better really. Look for another tight end if you got Pitts. Matt, getting 12 points, really good. He is now a non-entity moving forward, because Barkley is, in theory, should be back to full health next week. I think the thing is, I wouldn't drop him yet if you did pick him up, because of the expectation, well, not the expectation, sorry, the recovery from any injuries can lead to something worse if they haven't fully recovered, and New York Giants need him. That's the best way. They need him. So could they risk him just to get some points on the board potentially? So I'd watch out for that. Brandon Ayuk all over the pitch. Actually watched the game. It was fantastic. 20 points if you got him on your team is going to be a more boom than bust player. So I think I should weight it up. My second complete balls up was getting this guy. I thought Eric Carr injured. It's a good matchup potentially for a little bit of a slugfest, for getting those points, especially as a QB. And he got sacked so many times. Was it 5 or 6? I only got 9 points. I think I was lucky to get 9 points out of him. But I got rid of Dobbs, thinking, I don't know what I was thinking, to be honest. I think that's just stupid. And now he's been on the fab, and I think he's been bought out for like $63 or something. And our fab's like $2.50, so it's a big chunk. Whoever got him, I could have had him on my bench for $1. Considering I didn't even think about buys, I might put a pitch in for Kyler Murray, even though I know he's probably about 4 weeks, or at least 4 weeks away from playing. But potentially that could be a QB1 during playoffs. Might be worth a punt. At least then I can just stick him on my IR. So it doesn't really take a slot up. Potentially, so not too bad on that. Burrow, get it sorted, get off, recover. You're a great player. Don't let this season absolutely destroy your career. And make it worse. If you take, the quarterback's gonna get hit. They know you're injured and recovering. They're gonna hit harder in that one spot. So just rest. Bills 7 points, not too bad. Dallas winning me another game. Let's be honest. My first game was won by Dallas defense. My second game was lost by Dallas defense. This game won by Dallas defense. 26 points, amazing. They are playing 49ers. I have no idea what is going to happen. Purdy has played really well. The offense is high scoring. Good to get 10 points is probably what I'm hoping for. Maybe get a sack, a couple of sacks, interception. That'd be amazing. I think that's the ultimate play there. On the bench, I really thought Denver would be better sorting out their run defense, because how they got stomped by Miami, and then Herbert just comes in with 21 points. Should have played him. The bottom line. On the other side, Montgomery taking over Gibbs almost, and just proving that he is a contender in the Lions run game, and with 34 points he is just massive. Again, we could have played either one of these players on either side, or not forgotten one, and been a much comfortable win. Equally, Schultz somehow playing good and better than Pitts. I don't really rate Schultz at Houston, but 13 points is exceptional for a tight end. Romeo Dobbs having a good game. Obviously, with limited on Aaron Jones, and Dobbs is going to get even more play. So I think that's why I didn't put him in. Otherwise, I would have. Would have put him in more for Pittman and more. No, he would have gone in as my probably would have been in my my flex. But that's it. On the other side, yeah, Thielen, great player. Would you put him in anywhere? And no, I don't think you would have swapped him in. You wouldn't have swapped him for Justin or Allen. And you'd expect more than 4 points from Burrow. So it's one of those sad phrases, unfortunately. But you got to take the win when you can. So I'm 2-2. I'll take that. Especially the games I've had. Next up is Tampa and Isle of Wight. The Trump. Didn't really saw his lineup. Obviously, Watson was off with an injury. Lamar Jackson doing exactly what you want him to do at 27 points. McCaffrey having a blinding day, absolutely smashing all over the place, almost broke the record for most touchdowns for 49ers as a running back at 48 points. And Alvin Kamara, what do you think of the guy as a player? Fantastic. What a game return, 21 points, doing incredibly well, showing up and owning it. And against, a tough line as well. James Cook getting those 13 points. He's consistently getting almost 100 yards every game. And he's just relying for that touchdown upside. He is a great RB running back too on your field. Zach Moss not getting as much as there, but the game was a little bit all over the place for Colts. CeeDee Lamb getting there, but ultimately it's the defense that are scoring more touchdowns in Dallas than anyone else. So it's a bit of competition. I think they've got Chris Olave, 1 point. What is going on? Should have been really high up. Was getting double coverage quite a lot, but just expect it a blip this week. Going forward, should be doing all right. DK Metcalf coming down 12 points, doing well for what he's getting. To be fair, it was an awful game to watch. I think I watched it at the start, and Seahawks were like 50 yards back on penalties on one play. It was just an awful game. It's just an awful game. But as the Seahawks, they won. So that's what you take. DK Metcalf getting 12 points is okay. Hopkins getting his 10 points is good. He needs to be on the field performing a lot better for me, for having Henry. But for Tennessee, that is a positive as well. Mara Cooper not doing well, and they didn't have their main quarterback in, only 2 points there. Expect to bounce back going forward. Pico, 31 points. He's just doing so well coming back. Will that change when Coop comes in? I'm not too sure. He's definitely not going to be his high upside, but I think he has proven a connection there, just to be a fantastic player. And if you got him, you've got a steal of a player there. Jacob Mars, only 5 points. He's expecting a deep threat. There just wasn't there going forward. So yeah, Anthony Richardson getting up there, almost having that competition with Lamar. He's that style of player. He is actually doing exceptionally well for fantasy. Colts themselves not doing exceptionally well, but for fantasy, Richardson is having great games. And defense, nothing really to shout home. Saints only 2 points, Chiefs only 4. On the bench, there was some exceptionals, which was Cole Kmet at 27 points. Just being looked at all over the place. It wasn't to be expected. Is this where you expect going forward? No, in my opinion, but we'll see. On the other side, you've got Gibbs and Tannehill, both doing good points. But you expect Gabe Davis over Chris Olave? No. So that's pretty much it. Nothing would have changed there. Another high score, 115 points to 101. Birds getting a third win, and Raiders getting their fourth loss. Unfortunately, Raiders isn't a bad team on paper. They got some good players, just unfortunately, just getting outplayed by the opposition. Kirk Cousins having an awful game, been really good since now, but only 9 points. Dak Prescott only getting 14, but that is the consistent for him. I don't think there is much more upside for him. He doesn't really run with the ball, and he has they have a very good run game normally, but unfortunately Tony Pollard didn't live up to that run game. But it was over because of the defense. That is what changed the game dramatically. But you'd expected those garbage points from the run game from Dallas, but it just wasn't really happening. Kenneth Walker getting 13 points. He's doing well. He's okay. Now we talked about Mustard, and he is the person who's stealing all of his touches. Second week in a row having an exceptional game, and this time against a bad defense as well. Buffalo, 26 points, so exceptional there. Ramon Stevenson having a poor week. Bounce back is on, but actually I'd be a little bit more cautious on where I'd rank him. He's definitely in my top, I'd say like top 20. I think he's my 15th, maybe 13th top running back going into week 5, but I'd be a little bit worried about playing him. But he was against Dallas, and Dallas defense has been exceptional this week, so I don't expect him getting those 6 points again. AJ Brown doing really well at 38 points, just all over the place. Washington, it was just a bit of a slugfest, so it was a great game in that sense for fantasy. Stephen Diggs having a great game as well, getting all over the place, getting open, getting balls, getting all sorts. 36 points. Garrett Wilson, it was a really good game, and arguably, depending on who you want to point of view, is maybe just got robbed a little bit on the results against Kansas City, but actually for once pulling doing some good things there. Tank Bell come back down to reality from his previous game, only getting 3 points there. Kelsey, he's top tight end every week. You're always going to play him. 13 points, probably a little bit less than what you were expecting. Pat Frymu, 3 points. Normally he's quite good for his consistency. A little bit like Leicester there or Pittsburgh. Mike Evans, it's the first time he's actually dropped down in points. He's been a really good wide receiver going forward. I would expect this just being a blip so far. Tua, you're always expecting like maybe 5 points and a touchdown. That's where I think his ceiling is. If it's not getting that, then I don't think it's worth playing. Matthew Stafford, 15 points, doing well. QB and Baker Mayfield having an exceptional fantasy game at 22 points. On the other side, you had Bucks getting 15 points and 49ers. You was expecting a lot more for them playing Arizona, but actually 1 point. Going forward, they're always top 5 defense, so don't worry too much. Would there be any differences on either side? The only difference would have been losing a little bit closer, would have been about paying Terry McLaurin. Personally, I would have put him in against Bell instead of Bell, but you're riding on that Bell upside from the previous week. It's quite hard not to put him in, or put him in against Atwell. On the other side, we got Dak and Fennec, both 2-2, but 2 wins, 2 losses, 129 versus 122, close game, and would have beaten most of the board, unfortunately for Fennec. Wanderers. Players you had Hurts, he's always top 5 QB in my opinion. Tua has really up downs and low days, but 13 is pretty good still in my opinion, considering I'm playing against Buffalo. They've just got a good run game at the moment, which obviously lowers Tua's points down. Alexander Madison, only 10 points, but it's not too bad. It's getting there. So Sanders, awful game. Don't know what was really. It was Panthers. They do struggle at times against teams, and then nothing really happens in the run game. Joshua Kelly proving that he can't really do everything. Eckler can, only 6 points. He is a backup at the end of the day. Kyle Williams having a great game at 27 points. He is a massive threat every week, in my opinion. So Brown, 16 points, doing well there. He's consistent. He's the wide receiver 1 in the team. He's going to be throwing the ball. He's going to be looked at targets and touchdown. You're going to start him every week. He's a great player going forward. Waddle. Yeah, only 8 points. Just getting outplayed by Hill. He's just not taking much of the play away. 2 players again on the same team. It's Jacksonville with Ridley and Kirk, both 11 and 16 respectively. You're hoping for those big play potentials for Ridley. Kirk is not so much that. It's more he needs the consistency to get there. But going forward, they're both players that you'd want to start, so don't worry too much. Jake Ferguson actually having a good game for tight end. Starting to get looked at a lot more by Prescott, so going forward, I actually like him in my top 10. Taylor Higbee, it's 11 points. He's doing well. Expecting, maybe that every week would be a little bit too much upside, I think. But if he can get you 8 points, it's good in this day and age in tight ends. Josh Palmer only getting 10, but he's not really getting looked at that too much. Hopefully, that should change, And Adams, obviously, there wasn't a great game for fantasy for Las Vegas, but going forward, you're always going to start Adams, let's be honest. Josh Herbert, 22 points, exceptional, he's going to get them. So we'll see how it goes. And Brock Purdy, 21 points, exceptional game. It is a happy offense. for a QB there. He's protected, he's got weapons. Moving forward, sort of higher as I expect, and against Dallas. So we'll see how it goes. On your side, was there any real exceptions? No. Great call for not playing Gibbs. I think a lot of people would have gone that, especially as you spend such a high draft value on him. As you played him above Sanders, probably, but both not winning you a game. Oh, we're getting closer. The only one is Swift. I think I would have played him above Sanders just because of who they were playing more than anything, but hard to tell. We'll make mistakes. Me more than most. On the other side, we have the first person, the only player, Cleveland Steamers, who is 4-0 in our league, and Chicago, who is 1-3. Goff at 12 points, doing well there. Josh Allen at 35 points, proving that you had a good draft capital to get him. Najee Harris, 11 points. Travis, 9 points. Both getting a lot less than what they're expecting. Najee probably what you are expecting, to be honest. Travis Etienne, expecting more going forward. He should be alright. Connor, 6 points. They just got outplayed, and it was not a run game very quickly. Irish Pacheco was just exceptional, all over the place. Wasn't expecting that at all. 24 points. Tyreek Hill wasn't really a passing game there. 9 points. T. Higgins at 3 points. Let's see how it goes from there. George Anderson didn't really get a game. 0 points. Samuel Debo was like saying pretty much. His only time he was fantasy viable was when he was being used as a running back, almost, or a glorified running back. Now with McCaffrey there, I don't think he's that much value every week, or doesn't have the value as what he did have going forward. TJ Hawkinson, expecting a lot more. He'll have a bounce back going forward. Sam Laporto at 9 points. I actually do think he's quite a good tight end. It's not going to get high scores, but it's definitely going to get you some points every week. Going, wow, Chris Goodwin getting the favour of Baker Mayfield this week rather than Evans at 20 points, doing well. Nico Collins getting 35 points, proving that everything that happened in Houston to the other wide receivers was a fluke, and he is the wide receiver one in that team very clearly. Patrick Mahomes just not having a good game at 13 points, so let's see how that goes through. And CJ Stroud having an exceptional game at 21 points. Going forward, great to see. On the other side, was there anything else? No, you wouldn't have put Love in for Goff or Mahomes, let's be honest. And everyone else would have been on the bench as well. So that is it there. Finally, the last game, Oriental Lovers and Hitman. Only 1 point in it, so close. The sorry, I forgot Chicago was the lowest point score, but the next two lowest point scores, and they were that 1 point off. So anything can happen. And Tony is 2-2, and Alfredo is 1-3, respectively, for team scores. Justin Fields actually coming out with something at 27 points, even though they lost. It was good to see. Can he keep going with this? I don't know. I think I'll be a bit concerned going forward. Trevor Lawrence, 16 points, good for him. Josh Jacobs, 27, having a great game. B.J. Robertson, just a consistency in that team now is on the focus on him as RB1. He's doing really well. Bad for me for Algier, but yeah, going forward, you spent a large draft capital to get him, and he is paying off, so at least that is something at 18 points. Breece Hall, not as getting much as they good, but the game wasn't a great game in fantasy terms. So Breece Hall only getting 9 points. Brian Robertson, I really liked last year, and I really like him as a player going forward. I think he is taking over that running back one slot there, and I think he has got the goal line potential to get a touchdown every week, which makes him a playable wide receiver running back two all the time. Jamar Chase getting some decent points last night is what you expect, but at least something compared to previous weeks, so good going forward. Jerry Jeudy getting 8 points. We'll see what it's like going forward. I think he might find himself on waiver wise. He might be worth a pickup, but it'll be hard to decide when to start him. I think that's the problem there. Smith having a good game, consistency at 14. Christian Watson, again, consistency, good, getting 11 points. I think that's pretty much what we get. I'm knackered. Kids' parties and everything. Taylor Lockett, 9 points. Expecting some more. No, Goddard, only 4 points, sorry. Not doing too well. Should bounce back from there. And Ingram, 12 points, doing well there. Tyler Lockett, and 9 points. Williams, he's still recovering. He's still not a main. He's still not running at what you'd expect so far. So he's worth just benching. See what's going on for next week, I think. Pickett, 2 points, not doing particularly well. To be fair, Pittsburgh not particularly doing too well. Speaking of another player not doing particularly well this week or any week at the moment is Daniel Jones. 8 points is such a risk factor. His Giants just cave so quickly and then give up almost, and Steelers almost losing it. Or for the Oriental lovers at the -6 points, any worse, and that would have been it. And Texans equally doing really well. On the bench, could he have done anything? Sam Howard over Jones, but potentially going forward, I think that is a safer bet. And everyone else pretty much standard. Chubb obviously out for the season. There's no point in him being even in your IR slot. He is definitely out. And standing wise, that is all the games. Let's have a look at standings. Where are you? Standings right there. Myself, I am 8th at the moment. So we'll see how it goes. I'm 2-2. Yeah, I'm not too sure going forward. What are we gonna do? But I'm third in my league, which is not too bad. But there is a lot of people on 2-2s. Look, this whole league is on 2-2s. To be honest, so it's incredibly tight. Some players trying to get by as much as they can. Let's see what's going to go through. If there's going to be any trades or anything like that. Players, I desperately need a QB because it is my Geno Smith's buy and I haven't got a spare QB, so I need to get anyone which is on the bench, and I think the only one for that is Wilson. Which is not exactly what you want, but yeah, Zach Wilson. He's the only one that is there. Yeah, this is exactly. He is the only one that is playable at all. Like I said, I might put a bid in for Murray. Just to sit on my AR slot. You are worth benching. Yeah, there we go. Let's see what's going to happen. Well, 5 o'clock should get those players. At least then I can put a QB in. Gets me those extra points that I need for the matchup that's coming. For our schedule, though, it's going to be tight. It is really going to be tight. Without a QB makes a massive difference. Aaron Jones, in theory, should be back to normal. Henry is, I need to win it. Anyone else? Let's see. That's all I've got. Not too sure, but it'll be interesting going forward. Let's just pray again, and let's hopefully get that third win. Puts me closer and closer to the playoff potentials, where hopefully my team starts to recover from its injuries and goes forward from there. But I hope you enjoyed this. Let's see what it's like going forward, and let's go. Please like, subscribe, all of that jazz. If there's any players you want to talk about or know about, please comment. Please like, subscribe, all of that, and chat to you soon. And happy fantasy.